in the New Testament, in the epistle to Romans, chapter 8 and verse 28, we read that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. That means that when you're a believer, anything that's happened in your life is not just luck, or that's the way the cookie crumbles, but that's the way God has planned it, and it's happening for your good. At the time, you might not like it, or you might not see it, but years later, you can see the hand of God, how he brought these circumstances, how these events to turn out for your good so that you might know him. For instance, it might sound trivial, but all my life I was always skinny, and because I was always skinny, I went to the gym and I started training, and I was following the muscle magazines and the Joe Weider Muscle Builder magazine in the late 70s, and I learnt that on one occasion Dennis Tinerino was coming to England on his UK tour in 1980 before the Olympia, when he was going to compete against Arnold Schwarzenegger. And at that seminar we went there to learn about training and how Dennis Tinerino went from a skinny guy to being built up. Dennis Tinerino told us about the Lord, and it was from then that I started seeking the Lord, and then I went and heard the gospel and I believed it and I was saved. And it could be that there's some circumstances in your life which has caused you to stop, to seek, to consider. It could be a bereavement, or it could be just your natural temperament or some circumstance in your life. But if you're a believer, that verse says that God works all things together for good to those that love God. And on occasion, one occasion in the gospel, when Jesus was about to wash his disciples' feet, he says, "What I do now, you don't understand, but later you will understand." So maybe there's some circumstance in your life now. You might not necessarily be a believer yet, but God could be orchestrating, bringing those circumstances, that situation for your good, so that you might stop, you might consider, you might thinking, why am I here? Why is the situation as it is? But the good news is that it's not in vain. God does everything for a reason, and it could be that in the situation that you're in now, God is saying stop, consider. Jesus came to die, to save you from your sins, to take away that stress, that anxiety, that crippled conscience, so that you might have peace. Peace with me. You can have a restart. God wipes the slate clean. Why? Because Jesus died to take away the penalty that guilty sinners like us, so that we can have peace with God and we can find the purpose that God made us for. All things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. Think about that.